Hello? It's nice to meet you. Even though this is a very one-sided thing. I don't know you. Maybe I do. If you're someone I know outside of camera, then I do know you. No? Okay, hold on. Hello? Oh no. Hi. I'm Julia. If you don't know me, if you've never seen me before, this is the first time I am appearing on your screen of choice. Hi. And I have decided to prepare myself for this French culinary exam called the CAP Cuisine, and that is why I have created a YouTube channel to put videos on it despite my better judgment. As I mentioned, the CAP Cuisine is an exam. It's in France, and it serves as a sort of entryway into the world of professional cheffery. It's not a prestigious exam, it's not Master Chef, it's not Cutthroat Kitchen, Alton Brown will not be appearing. You actually take it when you are 16 or maybe 17. You take it when you're 16 or 17 because the French educational system is a little bit different from the American one where I was educated, because you finish their equivalent of elementary school and middle school. At the end of middle school, there is an exam. It's called the brevet, B-R-E-V-E-T, the brevet. After you take the brevet, you can do a different choice of high school or secondary school according to what you want. So if you do not want to go towards the back, which goes to university, you can say, no, never mind, I'm going to go towards the CAP. And that's more of a trade school where you just learn a specific trade, a specific profession, and you don't plan on going to university. Then you only spend 2 years in what's essentially a trade school. You would go into normal academic classes, math, French, literature, blah, 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 and you would be training in a specific domain. It's not just in cuisine, it is also in plumbing, hairdressing, just any kind of useful trade that you could do without having to go to university first. And when you're finished with those 2 years of schooling, you take the CAP, whether it be the CAP in carpentry, the CAP in plumbing, the CAP in hairdressing, the CAP in cuisine, the CAP in pastry, what have you. When you finish that test at 16, you hopefully pass it, and at that point it just gives you the green stamp to go and work as an apprentice in restaurants in whatever domain you choose and eventually work its way up. Obviously, if you are not a French 16-year-old, you can still take the exam, seeing as I am not a French 16-year-old, I am an American 25-year-old. At any point, you can take a CAP in whatever domain. Normally, you would want to do some sort of a training beforehand in official school. I want to say every culinary or pastry school in France will have a CAP course. Maybe there's some that don't. I can't do one of those programs. Trust me, I've looked. The thing is that I need both a visa and a salary that can help me afford to live in Paris legally. I have a job, I work full-time as an English teacher, which is what gives me both the aforementioned visa and the aforementioned salary that pay for me to live very frugally in Paris. And so I cannot give that up for 1 or 2 years in a pastry program. There are lots of afternoon evening programs that you could do after work. I did look into those. I would love to do one of those, but they're usually around 1,000 euros, and even that cuts it a little thin for me. So there is an option to take the exam in what the French call en candidat libre. And that means that you sign up to take the exam on your own. You have had no formal education before it, nor formal program. You train yourself at home, you do the best you can, and then you just take the test with all the other students. And that is what I have chosen to do. This might be a terrible idea. It's completely possible that this is a terrible idea, but I've always liked cooking. I was really lucky when I went to university to be able to do a 2-month program in a French pastry school. It was wonderful. I still can't believe I got to do that. And then for my last semester of college, I did work part-time in a restaurant kitchen. Since then, I've just been teaching English full-time for the last 3 years. I have asked in numerous pastry shops and at least one restaurant if I could work there for free for the experience, but France has very specific labor laws that prohibit people from working for free. So I signed up for this exam. It gives me a deadline in June of 2021 that this exam will be. I have to prepare for that date or else I will be lost. I have a textbook. I can make a separate video about this textbook because, oh boy, it's a wild ride. So whether or not I pass or fail this exam, I mean, obviously I hope that I'll pass, but it's pretty likely that I don't. I will have learned in the process. That's the thing. It's the journey. It's the climb, as Madame Cyrus once said. As for the test itself, as I mentioned, the test will be in June of 2021. It only happens once a year. The written portion is 1 to 3 hours, because sometimes it's done all at once, sometimes it's split into 2, on hygiene and kitchen organization. The practical portion is what I have been preparing for. That has a much bigger weight in the final average of my score. They give you usually 2 dishes, either an entree and a dessert, or maybe an appetizer and an entree, to make. Now, as for the recipe itself, if you watch the Great British Bake Off, it's similar to that technical challenge. They do give you the ingredient amounts, except for certain basic recipes that you're supposed to just know by heart that are formulaic. But yeah, that is the deal. If I forgot anything in this video, feel free to leave a comment. Just leave me a comment anyway so I can see if anybody watched this. As for this channel, I plan to make videos up until I get my results from the exams. That would be until midsummer 2021. Yeah, we'll see. Thanks for watching. That's all for now. Bye.